3 loan spells in 18 months. One club spending £69 million to avoid signing him permanently. A £26 million release clause that nobody triggered. Roy Keane calling his habits an embarrassment live on television. A manager who confronted him within days of arriving and never spoke to him the same way again. All of this happened to one player, Marcus Rashford. A forward who 4 years ago was being talked about as a generational talent. Today, nobody wants to own him. Everybody wants to borrow him. And the man responsible for both versions of Marcus Rashford, the brilliant one and the broken one, is the same man. Ole Gunnar Solskjær. This sounds like an attack on a beloved manager. It isn't. Solskjær gave Rashford the best years of his career. 55 goals in 135 games. A title charge that came within points of glory. The penalty in Paris that United fans still talk about a decade later. Rashford himself has said it without hesitation. Ole is a fantastic person. I loved playing under him. It was a very successful period for me personally. No manager in Rashford's career produced more from him. No period came close. But here is the part nobody talks about. What Solskjær gave Rashford with one hand, he quietly took away with the other. And football is only now presenting the bill. When Ole Gunnar Solskjær took over Manchester United in December 2018, he inherited a dressing room that Jose Mourinho had slowly dismantled. Players were anxious, rigid, beaten down by a system built on obedience rather than expression. Rashford was its most visible casualty. Under Mourinho, he was completing fewer dribbles per game, taking fewer shots, visibly shrinking in matches that mattered. The public criticism, Mourinho calling him out in press conferences, substituting him at the worst possible moments, had turned a fearless teenager into a hesitant one. Solskjær reversed all of that within weeks. His system was built on the counter-attack. Deep, compact, fast transitions. Win the ball, release it quickly, and let Rashford's pace do the damage in the space behind the defensive line. It was the football Solskjær had played under Sir Alex Ferguson in the 1990s. Direct, vertical, explosive. For Rashford, it was perfect, because Solskjær's system asked one thing of his forwards: run quickly and run hard. Above everything else, run in behind, receive, finish. It did not ask them to press relentlessly. It did not ask them to lead the defensive line from the front. It asked them to conserve their energy, stay on the shoulder of the last defender, and explode when the moment came. Rashford had never been more dangerous. The goals flooded in. The confidence returned. A player who looked finished under Mourinho became briefly one of the most exciting forwards in Europe. Here is what went wrong. While Solskjær's system was making Rashford extraordinary going forward, it was quietly allowing a devastating habit to form going backward. Pressing is not a natural instinct. It is trained behavior, built over thousands of hours of repetition until it becomes automatic. The best pressing forwards in world football developed that habit under managers who made it non-negotiable from day one. Solskjær's Manchester United was not that environment. The system was counter-attack first. The press was secondary, applied selectively, and never enforced on the forwards with the same iron discipline that coaches like Klopp or Guardiola demanded from theirs. When Rashford didn't press, when he jogged instead of sprinted, when he let an opponent pass through midfield unchallenged, Solskjær's system absorbed it. The counter-attack was still there waiting. The goals kept coming. Nobody had to confront the problem, because the problem wasn't costing them anything, yet. 3 years in that environment, and Rashford had learned, at a deep muscle memory level, that pressing was optional. It was the most expensive lesson Manchester United never taught him. Solskjær was sacked in November 2021. The moment the counter-attacking shelter was removed, the pressing problem became impossible to ignore. Ralf Rangnick arrived and built his entire identity around relentless pressing, every player hunting the ball from the front. Rashford lasted a few months before the effort became visibly selective. Erik ten Hag arrived and produced one extraordinary season. 30 goals in 2022 to 23, built largely on the final remnants of Rashford's pace and confidence, before both collapsed simultaneously. The following season delivered 7 goals. Ten Hag had no mechanism to revive a player whose pressing habits were never there to begin with. Then Ruben Amorim arrived. His system demands forwards who press with purpose, track back to protect the shape, and treat deffer. Work as a primary obligation. Within days, Amorim had seen enough. The confrontation with Rashford came almost immediately. The relationship never recovered. By December, Rashford was out of the squad. By January, he was on loan at Aston Villa. By summer, he was shipped to Barcelona, where Hansi Flick gave him something Solskjær had always given him: freedom, space, the counter. The goals returned instantly, and yet even Flick, the manager who understood Rashford better than anyone in years, could not fully save him from Solskjær's legacy. Barcelona saw the same thing every other club has quietly concluded. Rashford produces when the system is built around him. The moment the system demands something without the ball, pressing, chasing, closing down, he disappears. Barcelona had a choice. Keep the 28-year-old they already had. 14 goals, 14 assists, a La Liga winners' medal, available for just £26 million, or spend £69 million on Anthony Gordon instead. Gordon is 25. He presses relentlessly. He tracks back, closes down fullbacks, does everything Flick's system demands off the ball. The numbers tell a confusing story on the surface. Rashford contributed to 15.8% of Barcelona's league goals. Gordon contributed to 15.1% of Newcastle's, from a team that finished in the bottom half of the table. Nearly identical output, but Gordon earned his from a system that demanded far more of him. Without the ball, Barcelona chose pressing over goals. They chose a habit built over years, over a habit that was never built at all. One fan summed it up bluntly: they chose pressing over GA. That's going to age badly. Maybe, but in that moment, the decision was entirely rational, because the pressing problem isn't a flaw in Marcus Rashford's character. It's a tactical inheritance from the manager who made him great. Solskjær is not a villain in this story. He did what good managers do: built a system around the players he had and made them look extraordinary. He gave Rashford his best years. He gave United their most thrilling football since Ferguson. But great managers shape habits as well as results. In protecting Rashford from the demands of the modern game, wrapping him in a system that never forced him to develop the one skill every club now requires from a forward, Solskjær unintentionally made him unemployable the moment that system was taken away. Rashford is 28 now, 18 consecutive months on loan. 2 clubs have borrowed him, profited from him, handed him back. One club paid £69 million for a more complete version of the player they already had. Every manager since Solskjær has encountered the same version of Marcus Rashford. Brilliant with the ball, a passenger without it. And right now, as interest circles from a distance, the question every potential buyer is silently asking is the same one Amorim asked on day one: can we fix what Solskjær never built? The goals were never the question. The goals have always been there. The question is whether 10 years of habits formed inside a counter-attacking shelter can be unlearned by a manager who never had Solskjær's luxury of not needing them. Somewhere, a manager is about to find out.